Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Egyptian examiner herself, Sandy Reevy.
I like it. One spot left.
It is episode 318, the week of August 26th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have August 27th on Tuesday, Venus trine Uranus.
Take a break.
And Wednesday, August 28th, Venus opposing Neptune retrograde.
See and imagine.
Then Mercury stations direct.
Ready to get ready.
Then Thursday, August 29th, Venus ingress Libra.
She's perfect.
And Venus trine Pluto retrograde.
Sign up and attend.
Then September 1st on Sunday, Uranus stations retrograde.
Oh, exciting turn of events.
And Pluto retrograde ingress Capricorn.
Begins the finish.
Then in Talisman times, we have our announcement for the new Talisman of the month for September. On the horizon, we have our retreats, a couple of webinars we want to chat with you about. And in our house, Sandy and I are packing up for Burning Boy, the makeshift mini version of Burning Man. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story.
Hello, Egyptian examiner.
I have been immersed. I feel like I'm paddling down the Nile.
Already.
I can't wait. We're filling up the spots,
Right.
kind of these last minute, like, oh my gosh, summer's over. What's my plan?
What's my next move?
Yeah,
Where am I
I'm going to go to Egypt and go down and see what there is to get. And oh my gosh, and just heard that indeed there is an archaeologist on our tour.
That is so cool.
An Egyptian,
For the whole time.
a young guy.
For 10 days. You
Yeah.
get to pick and divulge all this information, plus astrological personal information with you, and also Zephy and Mahmoud, who have run this retreat cyclically for years. Just super cool. I mean, I think once we really recorded and published that video, or I guess the couple of videos that we've
gotten more, that's when we got the signups.
Totally. Because people started to understand just how much we are getting done in these 10 days all over Egypt.
Interesting, too, because we were on a call, because we hop on our WhatsApp calls because we got Egypt, Greece, and Chicago, right? And we were on last week, and Zephy says to Mahmoud, so we got Sam. Is Sam on board? And Mahmoud says, yeah. Oh, yeah. Didn't I tell you? Yeah. And I go, excuse me, who's Sam? They're like, he's our archaeologist. I'm like, how come I didn't know that? They go, oh my gosh, you want us to tell you all the surprises we have in store? Seriously. And then there was something about maybe they're at one night where we can get in a back door of a temple if he gets the call before we all go to sleep.
Oh, dang. That's cool.
So it's kind of like, keep your eyes peeled, folks.
Right.
There's so much happening, particularly because of the stars that we're going to see in the evening. I just can't wait to get on the boat and just move stationary. It's right?
Move stationary.
Like we're sleeping on the boat, we're moving, but we're not.
Moving while stationary. I thought you were talking about I'm going to take this envelope and move it to this side of my desk. Different interpretations. Okay. So I want to go direct to all of you listeners. We are, of course, super excited for our upcoming retreats, and anyone that has been on them knows how exciting they are. And so anyway, that has nothing to do with this review or this email that we received from Anonymous A. She says, looking forward to listening to the podcast this morning as I get ready for my day. Happy full moon. So that was from last week, Monday, and it was a big full moon. It was the super blue moon.
Yes, super blue moon. In fact, you could see it when you went to bed at night, and you can see it when you get up in the morning. Well, if you get up early in the morning like me. Yeah.
For the record, I have been getting up earlier and earlier. So
what?
I know I'm such a sleeper, but just too much to get done. We've got multiple big deadlines for our retreats and, we really want to make them perfect. So endless amounts. So let's move into the transits. This week is, give me a quick rundown if you can.
There's a lot of these. Well, Mercury is stationing direct, so that's a big deal.
That's a plus.
In Leo, and Venus is going to move into her own sign, so she's going to move out of the place of her fall. So Uranus is going to station retrograde, so he's staying still. But Uranus, the awakener, staying still. It's like having an alarm clock constantly going off, and you can't find out where you can't find it in the covers of where it is to turn it off. Right?
Oh my goodness!
So it's like this constant. It's an excitable turn of events, right? Where like it will get you out of bed so that you can find it in the covers of where your phone alarm is.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a time to go internal.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's start off with the first transit of the week, which is on Tuesday, August 27th, Venus trine Uranus.
This is with reception because Venus, is not so super charming or happy in the sign of Virgo where she is. I mean, she's coming to the end of Virgo, but she's making a trine to Uranus, who's in her sign of in Taurus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're meeting at 27 degrees. So we know that she's almost done with this place of fall, where literally Vedius Valens writes, fallen down a well or fallen down a hole.
Right.
But this reception says, trine, Earth says, hey, take a break, go separate ways, experience an unusual scenario, and then come back together and tell the stories. So I actually, do you remember when I said to you, Alex, I challenge you when I was writing this and we were printing this up, and I said, I challenge you and Rocco, your partner, to make a plan. And on Tuesday, like you go read a book, you go watch a thing, you go take a walk, you go whatever, go take a phone, like do something separate, right? That Uranus, do an individual something. Even if it's just making a food in the kitchen, you make your recipe, he makes his, and then you're experiencing this together, right? And you're telling stories of, oh, I chose this because of that, or I just really like the visual of this. Like, all right, see you in 3 hours. Bye. I'm not telling you what I'm doing. I'll meet you back here. We'll have dinner. We'll have a glass of wine.
And catch up on our day.
And I'm going to tell you all about it.
Right.
So it's kind of like this exciting, like breaking away, but not a break up, but just kind of breaking and doing something you've always wanted to do. And then probably you would come back and go, I want to tell you about the 3-hour nap I just took. I'll tell you about my dreams.
I mean, I have vivid dreams. And even
Pisces.
Oh, yes. And then even ones that I can really like direct and control and realize that I'm dreaming. And then, it's incredible.
You'll have to share.
I love my dreams. All right. So the next transit, we have 2 of them on Wednesday, August 28th, Venus opposing Neptune retrograde.
Again, she's in her place of fall, but she's also seeing Neptune in the opposition placement of Pisces, where she does find her exaltation. So this, and again, this is at 29 degrees. Like, again, a change is occurring. So this is about to see and imagine, right? Because when you're looking at a Neptune, you're like, what is that? Is that an oasis?
A mirage.
Is that a mirage? In fact, that's why they call those things oases over top of the highways, right? They call them away because there's not a turnoff for miles and miles, but right there you can go stop and get a bathroom or food or gas or something. But that's all there is. That's all you can do there.
Right.
The oasis. And so, but this is about seeing and understanding others' perceptions. Just kind of about the stationary thing you were saying I'm moving, right? Because there are other ways to skin a rabbit, cook a steak, raise a child, and move stationary. So pause in that opposition and say, hey, let me see how your idea can come to light.
Right.
So let me see it. No, I don't see it. Okay. I tried.
Right.
You can say that too, right?
And also when you think about it, it's a lot of like the way that you said, like Venus opposing Neptune in retrograde, like kind of seeing it from a very different perspective. And, you know, recently it's been on my mind about how different, like we all live in this same world, right? Basically, we all live like the same, we're living the same
on Earth
at the same time, right?
Yeah.
But our perspectives and the way that we view the world, every single one is different. Even if you think, oh yeah, me and my neighbors, we all live in the same vicinity at the same time. We all have very similar houses, probably same financial situations. But even that, everyone looks at the world completely different, right? So it does show so much, you know, see and imagine not only your perspective on the world, but how other people might be noticing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Really big for this time in our country. Yeah.
So the second transit of Wednesday, the 28th, Mercury stations direct.
Yeah. This is at 21 degrees of Leo. And so get ready to get ready, right? He's just moving. Station means, you know, you could look at it as at the station. He has stopped, stalled, stuck, station. And so he's not
stationary.
Yeah. Oh my God. And pull it back around.
Right.
That he will be moving now in the opposite direction, which we now know is going to be direct. He's going to be moving forward, but he's going to stay at this 21 because he's already been. This will be his kind of second and third time as he pauses here. And for me, that's been sitting on my ascendant. And I purposely used this energy. And again, folks, that if you are using the astrology in the way that we are able, right? That we are willing. Well, we have to be willing. That we're willing and able. We are able, but are we willing?
Right.
And I was, because I thought, oh, that's it. That sits on my ascendant. And I want to have a different look at, because ascendant is how one looks. I want to be able to look at myself a bit differently. And so that's why when this went over, I went back on my food program. So yeah, I've lost 10 pounds. Woo-hoo! And I can see it in my face.
Right.
You know, and my clothes.
Right.
But that fact that I was planning on, so on this day, so we have till, you know, coming up in a couple of days, we'll be like, yeah, you know, prepare for your entrance. You know, you're no longer in the weeds. You know, you're not collecting, you're not in the doldrums, you know, It's time to kind of step out in a forward motion.
Yep. Ready to get ready.
Yeah, ready to get ready. And like, go ahead and start putting the lipstick on.
So Thursday, August 29th, again, 2 transits on this day. Venus ingress Libra. She's back and happy.
Oh, she is perfect. And everything fits. But she's still social. She likes to, in fact, she's probably way more social here. She was social when she was in Leo, and then she wasn't social so much. She was more of a fixer-upper in Virgo, and now in this placement where she likes to be in Libra. She can, you know, I like to use the word in an air sign, share, right? Like share information, get things, invite people over. Invitations are available.
Yeah. And that is like a brilliant time to share the words that you've been meaning to share hope, share, let's see, harmonious type of words and compliments. That's where Venus loves to be. So the next transit for Thursday, the 29th, Venus trine Pluto retrograde.
Right. So this is again air, they're trine, and Pluto's almost ready to move back into Capricorn in a few days, but here he meets up with Venus, swings by for a visit in a trine. So I said, sign up and attend a transformational event, right? Where could you go and enjoy yourself with a group of people that are wanting to enjoy themselves? But Pluto doing a little bit of the deep work, the deep transformation, the evolving. So like an evolution type thing. So, hey, one spot left for Egypt. And we're selling already. We're filling up for Mexico.
Right.
In January. Pretty soon you'll start seeing my September and October 2025 retreats. We'll start be talking about that soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Sunday, September 1st. Happy September, everybody. And we have, again, 2 transits on this day. The first, Uranus stations retrograde.
This is an excitable turn of events. This is Uranus at the 27-degree mark. In other words, he's going to pause here, go back to 23, and then swing through and get us to 0 next year.
Right.
So all the astrologers have been watching this. This is quite odd that all of these planets are coming to this very last degrees of, these are the three outer planets. So really important work that we're doing here in this world. I know here in the United States, we're doing some really important work for, kind of democracy and
the
for
future of the nation.
And this Uranus says, there's going to be, watch the turn of events that is occurring. They've already been occurring, but watch more to occur. Because it's heading back to the 23 degrees and it won't get there until January 30th. So if we don't talk politics here, but that will be just after the inauguration,
right?
On 10 days later. But anybody whose birthday is between May 14th and May 18th, so you birthday babes, this is when this is where your sun sits between the 23 degrees of Taurus and 27 degrees of Taurus. So this Uranus is crossing over for a second time.
So some shakeups
over this next few months. And Erin Sullivan, I quote her a lot. I always just, there's something about her that I thought she was sexy. I thought she was brilliant. She also had this like evasive personality. But she was very friendly. I've got to know her quite well, especially when I went to Santa Fe. And I was supposed to see her when I went there last December, and she passed while I was there. But anyway, she writes the book on retrograde planets that I quote a lot.
Right.
And hear what she says for this Uranus retrograde. This results in a internal force that draws energy inward from the environment and or from other people. So again, whatever's going on in the outside world, in the environment, mundanely, like on the news and around the world, because this is going on for everybody, right? This is just the cosmic energy is hitting this earth. But particularly those birthdays. So what are you pulling in your environment or from people? Be around positive vibe people. Can we cue Positive Vibration right now by Bob Marley?
We can't.
Oh, you're such a Debbie Downer.
I'm just abiding by the
laws and rules,
copyright infringement laws. Yes, and we don't have the means to pay for 15 seconds of that.
And we don't really want to have a cease and desist letter for this anyway. So pay attention to what's
this excitable turn of events.
Yeah, where does energy get trapped? Or is energy, are you supposed to be doing something really different or staying on a new plan? You're going on into internal questions.
Okay. And then the final transit of the week is that same Sunday, September 1st, Pluto retrograde, ingress, Capricorn.
Hey, he's here until mid-November. Again, mid-November, the November elections. So he will be done with Capricorn in our entire lives.
Wow.
In fact, he won't be here for another 220 years.
Okay.
So this is the United States' first Pluto return. We're just finishing it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means that in 220 years, the United States will be going through its second Pluto return. And that will be another time when the laws and regulations and bankings and any conservative subjects, Capricorn, conservative, banks, government laws, requirements, like you just said, copyright laws, infringement, cease and desist, paying fines, all those things will be looked at again, which has been being looked at for the last, 4, 5, 6 years as Pluto has been coming to the end of this. And now it's this one last toe dip just into the 29 area of Capricorn, so we go all of September, all of October, and half of November. This last 2.5 months is massive. And don't we feel it? I mean, don't you feel it? You were just saying, you're talking about it all the time, that this momentum that is feeling.
Right.
What is the change? What is the change? And are we able to finish and lock in? Kind of reminds me of one of those.
Begins the finish.
Reminds me one of those games my mom watches when I go visit.
Game shows?
Yeah, game shows. It's like,
oh, are you going to lock it in?
Are you going to lock it in?
Right.
Right. So it's kind of, we're beginning the finish. What do we lock in by the mid-November? That now we have another 20 something years of Pluto in Aquarius, of what is for the people, of the people that we are currently in the world now. We're not the same black, white, this religion, that religion,
right?
Male, female. We're not that.
United States was the grand experiment, right?
The Constitution experiment. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So if you do want to follow along with these transits personally, and you're noticing the degrees of signs and everything, you can download your natal chart on our website for free. And anytime you're noticing those, 11 degrees of Pisces, 9 degrees of Capricorn, wherever these planets are at, you can always look at your own chart to find out if this is working with you personally. So moving on to talisman times, we don't have any upcoming talismans right now to discuss. So moving into the talisman of the month of September, starting September 1st on this Sunday, you'll notice a new talisman of the month available on the website for special price and special shipping discount. To nurture my mind with clarity and precision, I communicate with discernment, finding beauty in the details and strength in my connections. So this is a really beautiful talisman, beautiful blues. And you talk a little bit about it because you picked it for it being the moon in Virgo square Mercury in Gemini, with like the sun, Venus, Jupiter, all of those being in Gemini as well.
In an angle house, yeah. And because we've got the moon in Virgo, and now Mercury gets back into Virgo and stays there this month, the month of September. And so it's kind of like really finding out where your details are, right? That clarity, that precision, that communication, that discernment, what is right and what is wrong, what is spelled correctly, what is understood. And Venus is there. So I got to include finding beauty in the details.
Yeah.
And the sun is there to strengthen my connections in the seventh house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Very cool. I like that talisman. So on the horizon, we have coming up August 25th, or just dropped August 25th, the September Astrology forecast and cheat sheet. This is available to anyone with a Big Dipper Plus membership. And you can join on our Patreon page. I have a link in the description. All of that information is available for you complimentary with your membership. If you do have any questions, of course, we are around to answer them. September 11, Sandy and Susan are jumping on a webinar to share about the eclipses of 2024, what they mean, what to look forward to. And
September, October, we'll get the pair. We're going to have 2. Sometimes we get 3, but we're going to get 2. We always get 2. We always get a pair.
Right.
It's the, either the full moon and then the new moon, or the new moon and then the full moon.
Right.
So we'll go over all that.
And
This is a kind of a bit of a dicey one.
oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget, we have one spot left for the Egypt retreat, October 9th through the 19th. I do have the video in the show notes if you are curious about all that it entails. We have Sandy, Zephy, and Mahmoud who describe their plans as leaders, locations, packing lists, frequently asked questions, some experiences that people have had while they were on these retreats. It's a really wonderful video. It gives you tons of information. I highly recommend it. And even if you're just interested in a little bit of curiosity too. And of course, if you're interested in joining us for a retreat, make sure to schedule that free 15-minute call with Sandy. Link is in the show notes. Let's move into our house where we are packing up
Our tent
for Burning Boy. This is our
I think
little
we need to change that. What about Burning Dude?
I know it sounds like
It
really
sounds
terrible.
I don't like it.
But also then why would they call it Burning Man?
I know.
Right. It's less terrible that it's Burning Man.
What about
But I think it's been like said
Burning
so many
Bike?
times. It's been said so many times, like that it's almost like, oh, Burning Man is just
it's like a
event,
trademark. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But like Burning Boy it's
No, that's
weird.
sad.
I agree. No.
Burning Dude.
Okay, fine. We'll say that actually works because it's on a farm.
Yeah.
Like it's like a
Dude Ranch.
it's a dude ranch.
Not
Burning
really.
Dude. I like it.
Okay.
Okay, we're calling it Burning Dude. I am, I can't record the intro, but we're changing it to Burning Dude. It's our little makeshift version of Burning Man where we're just going over to my uncle's farm where he has this party. He sets up this big stage. Everyone brings their own food. It's a potluck.
Well, they bring a dish and their own beverages. Meanwhile, he's got pigs and shoulders and things that are going through
briskets
and rotisserie things moving around. I mean,
corn
we're
on
bringing
the big makeshift grill,
we're
with
gonna
cinder
be bringing,
blocks.
our tents, but most of the people will, because this is their gig, this is their jam, right? They will be loading in the RVs.
Yeah.
And he has
little parking spots with outlets sticking out of
in the grass.
In the grass.
Yeah. In the fields.
Yeah.
He has done that. So you have electricity to connect up with. So we're bringing our fans.
Yeah.
And then he literally has Home City Ice, which is one of his, it's a friend of his too. We'll bring one of those big containers
that you find in the store
that
where
you find, with the big like chunking glass.
The ice cream truck handle where you just swing open the door and you can go pick out your
bag of
ice.
ice. Yeah, he has that delivered. I mean, it's a big old thing, and a big band's coming too.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah.
So we're packing up. We are going to give you an update on how it all goes next week.
Mm-hmm.
But what else do we have to share? We're not like the most like campy people. Like we don't go and actively try to camp out. Just
hey, Girl Scout here when I was 13.
Correct. And you are now in your 40s?
Yeah, that was 55 years ago.
But, we're not camping people, but like it's our families around. We know that like there's going to be bountiful amounts of food, fun, friendly faces.
Well, there's a big lake. We'll be either boating or fishing or swimming or, he needs to get a paddle, a couple.
I thought he has a paddle boat.
Well, he's a paddle boat. I'm thinking of the stand-up paddle boards. That would be the coolest. Because he's got fish in there.
Right.
And it's kind of like, as much as I am a Pisces as you are, it's
they
like
nibble on your toes.
They nibble on your toes.
They
and
do.
I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. But I want to be on the water, so I'm going to have to get in one of the boats. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and just because we have a little extra time, that actually reminds me of a story that, man, I want to say it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Rocco and I went out to Mexico and we did a temazcal, which is like basically like a sweat lodge.
Mm-hmm.
And after the sweat lodge, we did a cold plunge in this little pond. It was probably, the diameter wasn't more than like 5 feet. So and the cool part is that the temazcal, it was just me, Rocco, and the shaman.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually it's like a big crowd,
Yeah.
which I'm sure has its own energy, but like it was very cool that it was just, the two of us. And then, in that, I had an experience. Like I was tingling everywhere. I was like, whoa, I just feel this like crazy amount of energy. I even had to like lay down for a minute and be like, I am like not on fire, but like burning girl now.
Burning girl.
Yeah, I was like tingling everywhere and I was like, wow, I'm like really coming back to life here. This is incredible. And afterwards we did this cold plunge. And as we're in this cold plunge, because it's in Mexico and there's tons of cenotes, which are like those, underground kind of caverns. Yeah. Or waterway systems.
Yeah.
And so this was one that they dug from the top and they were able to bring it up. And we were kind of just like standing in there or kind of like floating in there for a while. And then I was like, oh, that's weird. Oh, okay. I'm still tingling apparently. And I didn't say anything because we were talking with the shaman about all these different things. And then after a while I was like, man, I'm still tingling, but I'm just tingling in my toes and my feet. And then Rocco goes, well, me too. And the shaman goes, oh yeah, by the way, those are the fish that are underneath here and they're just like chomping on your feet. So that just reminded me of
No, I don't know. That's why I like being by water. I like being on water. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
we'll
in
work
part,
on it.
Yeah, that in part. I just don't like the fish.
Yeah, that's why you want the stand up paddleboard.
Yeah, because I can stand up and walk and go around.
You're surfing, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, I think that's going to be a wrap on our episode today. So thank you, everybody, for listening in and joining, sending in your emails. Of course, we are so pleasantly surprised when we do see them. So keep them coming.
Yes, thank you.
And we hope to see you in person at one of the retreats. And if not, hey, over Zoom is a great option too. So make sure to stay tuned for any webinars or readings that you have coming up. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Have a good week.
Burning dude.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story.